What's up, gang? Welcome back to the Shaving Tolson. Let me go ahead and bring the mic in ever so closer. But for those of you guys that didn't know, I am now
clean shaven.
Well, I've got some stubble, but for the most part, I'm clean shaven. What brought that on? I got bored. That happens from time to time. Eventually I'll get bored of this and I'll grow something back. So for a little bit there, I was trimming it down. I was trimming this. I just had the mustache and this going on. Decided to mix it up a little bit. So here I am, back to my babyface self. But a lot of you guys are curious. What am I going to be using tonight? Well, I'm going to be using Lavender Rustic Shaving Soap from Wet Shaving Products. I love, love, love this soap. I love the scent of this soap. The vegan base from WSP is fantastic. I really enjoy it. But that is not why I'm using that product tonight. I am also pairing that with Lavender, Extreme Lavender by Barrister and Mann. What am I doing that for? Well, you're going to find out. But not only is this an incredible lavender scent, it's just a great aftershave. I love this stuff. It's absolutely wonderful. I highly encourage you to look into what Will is doing over at B&M because this is fantastic. It's got kind of a milky consistency in there, kind of not completely translucent, and that's usually a good sign for me for whatever reason. That seems to yield better post-shave properties for me. It's probably just a mind thing. I don't know. But the real reason I'm doing that is because I received something in the mail today. And that is the Teddy EDT by Gold Shave. And it is fantastic. I've been on a love affair with lavender lately. I just really enjoy lavender. I like seeing what people do with lavender. And that right there is absolutely wonderful. I'm not 100% on the scent notes, but what I do pick up on the scent notes is top note is definitely lavender. That's straight up lavender. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's deep. Lavender is a very interesting, calming, relaxing scent for me. But it also seems to match with vanilla. I get some sandalwood. Sorry, I had sprayed it on me earlier. You get some iris in there, which for those of you that are curious as to what iris is like, in the world of fragrances, most seem to compare that with lipstick. It sounds a little feminine, but really it's not. It really equates to a nice, fresh scent for the matching soap and aftershave splash. If you didn't want to use Teddy, I'd say another fragrance that would pair well with that scent profile would be Prada L'Homme. Really, really nice scent, by the way. This is a fragrance that I find to be perfect for office wear. And really, anything lavender is really suitable for office type settings. I've got my Captain's Choice heavyweight copper bowl. I've got my Gold Shave Hair Force 1, not in here, with my Mohawk 5-341 or 3- good Lord. I always forget the full title of it. But I've already got my lather nice and built up. You guys can see I've got lather for days there. Perfect. Nice, creamy, good-looking lather. I did cork the blade that I'm using tonight. And by corking, that basically just means you take a cork, like the one that you see here, and you just run your blade, the edge, through the edge of that cork. And that's all there is to it. It kind of helps a little bit with some of the initial harshness that you can get off of a brand new blade and this Astra SP blade in there, though I don't find Astra SPs to be overly sharp because of the razor that I'm putting them in. I wanted to take extra precautions, and I do find that corking helps, though your results may vary there. And for the razor, for the first time tonight, I am using the Muhle R41, considered by most to be the most aggressive razor that is made today. I've been looking for something that's ultra efficient, beautiful looking, and I've always loved these grooves. I've always loved that. The guard bar on the Muhle R41 has always looked gorgeous to me. And this is just a beautiful example. I traded for this one. So thank you, sir, for trading this. I'm sure you might see the video at some point. All right, so let's get this lather going. So I hope you guys are having a good day. Tiff and I are going to be running around to appointments tomorrow, so my Labor Day starts early. God, that lavender smells great. See, I'm mixing it with different lavender scents tonight. So the WSP lavender is what I would consider to be a lighter lavender. I wouldn't consider it to be overly floral, but it is definitely lighter. A more uplifting lavender. One of my favorites. Where B&M, the aftershave, is darker. Both, I would say, are masculine takes on lavender. But you could also consider this unisex. I consider lavender to be one of those unisex type fragrances. And again, I want ultimate slickness. I want some great glide when I'm talking about the razor that I'm talking about tonight. And this base does wonderful. This brush lathers like a mofo. And this bowl, I have not really been having great success with the Captain's Choice bowl, but I know many love it. And with this brush though, it is wonderful. It whipped up a lather in no time. And I don't find the WSP lather to be particularly thirsty. It doesn't take a lot to get it going, which is generally my experience with most vegan bases. I think that is good enough. Oh, and I pre-soaked my brush in this beautiful sterling cup that I bought at an antique shop. Look at that. Look at the designs on that thing. Looks wonderful. Without further ado, let's get going. So, I would say I'm not nervous at all, but because everyone's hyped up this razor so much, I am a little bit nervous. This is coming from the guy that gets pretty good clean shaves with the Shavette now. You can hear it there taking off the whiskers. I want to say, oh, you're not so bad, but then I'm afraid I'm going to jinx myself. Wow, that's really close. You definitely feel that blade, but it's not uncomfortable. I've been really trying to find a razor that really takes efficiency to the next level, and Muhle R41s are largely regarded as that next step. Not bad. Not bad at all. Again, you definitely get that blade feel, but not in an uncomfortable way, at least for me. I'm not putting really any pressure. Just enough. To guide it, and surprisingly enough, because that blade exposure is pretty decent, getting under the nose is really not that much of a problem. The chin's going to be the fun spot, though. I kind of cut myself the other night on the chin with the Shavette of all things. So we're going to see if that's actually going to work out for me. But because of this razor, I'm really curious to see what this would be with a feather in it, because it's not that bad. But as you guys can hear with the audio feedback, it's definitely chopping away. It's got some good audio feedback, which I really like in my razors. Trying to figure out where that line was at. It feels efficient. It's doing its job, but I just don't get where all the, oh my God, it's going to slice your face to oblivion. Maybe it's just because my technique has gotten significantly better over the years. But I was expecting a bloodbath on this one. And I'm frankly a little disappointed I'm not getting that bloodbath. I'm just kidding. I'm totally not disappointed. I'm not really wanting that tonight. This is the tricky part, though. Especially since I don't have my glasses on and it's a little harder for me to see exactly what I'm doing. But I will admit, I've always thought the Muhle R41 was one of the sexiest looking razors out there as far as DEs because of that guard bar. It just looks so sexy to me. I'm a man that likes curves, what can I say? But I want to hear in the comments below, what do you think of the lack of facial hair? Do you like it? Do you hate it? A lot of my coworkers are still trying to get used to it. I know there are several at work that are not a fan. They like the facial hair. Tiff really likes the facial hair. But she said she also likes seeing the chin too. I don't know. Man, I'm really impressed with the Captain's Choice Bowl tonight, but I think a lot of that is due in part to this awesome Hair Force 1 knot, which is Badger. I forget the type of Badger, but it's honestly, I haven't been really that impressed with animal hair brushes as of late. There is a few that I really enjoy, but for the most part, you guys know I'm a synthetic kind of guy. But this HFO knot blew me out of the water. That's why I keep going for it. That's why I keep reaching for it. And really, with this razor, you could stop at one pass. I'm not going to go against the grain. At least I don't think. I might change my mind. Look at this lather, though. Look at that. And again, this lather scent is wonderful. It's a lighter lavender as opposed to the darker lavender I'm going to be getting with the B&M aftershave, which is a nice pairing. And then I'm going to top it all off with a very florally kind of sandalwood iris lavender, which is very nice. Again, I feel a little touch of vanilla in there, but I think that's partially from the sandalwood. Again, you can definitely hear it, but it's not uncomfortable. I say that and then the aftershave is going to hurt like a mofo. I mean, this is kind of what I've been looking for. So far, so good. I will say going across the grain on my lip always makes me nervous. It's getting close. Again, there is blade exposure, which is where I'm getting nervous at, but it's not uncomfortable. And if you do see any red, it's not coming from this blade. This is coming from irritation. That's stirring back up, I think, from the Wet shave the other day when I shaved the whole beard off. Being as gentle as I can be. If you don't respect the razor, it'll get you. Little something I've learned over time. I can feel myself getting a little cocky with this razor, but it's just good. It's just a great razor. You know what? What the hell? We're going to give it a shot. We're going to go against the grain. You guys are getting a full shave video out of this, and we've already gone 15 minutes. So this ain't going on the gram. Well, unless I edit it severely. I am really, honestly, very curious to see how this thing does with a feather. Because a feather just cuts right through. Not a lot of resistance with the feather, but you gotta appreciate the blade. You gotta respect the razor that it's in, or you'll cut yourself pretty bad. And again, just because I'm having good experiences with this razor does not mean, especially if you're a beginner, that you should go run out and grab yourself a Muhle R41, work your way up to that, and then by that time, hopefully your technique will be right at that sweet spot. And there's a weird place where my hair grows kind of awkwardly, like right here, and I can never seem to cut it right with more efficient, more aggressive razors. I hate to use the word aggressive, but for this razor, I'd say that's appropriate. I could definitely see it cutting someone if they're not careful, because again of that blade exposure, but it gave me an incredibly smooth shave. I'm going to be using this for the next several nights. Because again, it's one of those that I've always appreciated for the looks, but I've always been nervous because of what I've heard. But maybe that nervousness was a good idea while I was waiting and getting more experience. Maybe. But yeah, that looks clean. See, that's from the shave-at the other night. I have some marks on my neck from the shave-at the other night. There's a mark on my lip from the shave-at. Again, I was taking down a full beard, and it was pretty dry. So, because I hadn't put any oil in that beard that day, so it just kind of was a little patchy. And now we're going to be following up with the B&M. And again, this is kind of a darker lavender, so this is a little bit more, definitely more on the masculine end of things. If you want a little bit darker, and I know that, not bad at all. I know that he has a lavender dedicated cologne, which I plan on buying because, again, I'm on this lavender kick. Very, very nice lavender. I mean, you could throw this in an atomizer and use this as a cologne. It's strong. It's strong. And that's something that I've always seen with anything from B&M is the fragrances on the aftershaves are really strong. Actually, all of these products, WSP, Strike Gold Shave, B&M have very strong aftershaves, which I love. You guys know I'm all about those strong fragrances. So we did the aftershave. We did the main shave. Now let's move on to this. Now again, I've already actually sprayed this on, but I'm going to do it again just so you guys can see because there's so much to see with spraying on a fragrance. But it's a 2-ounce bottle of Teddy from Strike Gold Shave. The atomizer tube is actually nice and long, so it's getting there in the corner, so you're not wasting any of that juice in there. And I am very pleased. This is a nice, heavy, thick glass, so it feels very sturdy in the hand. The atomizer on this is pretty good. Presentation's really pretty straightforward, but I really like it. This is just a nice, clean, florally type fragrance, but I could see this as a signature scent for a lot of people, maybe even myself included. It's very nice. And I'm not a big fan of floral type scents, but I think that's coming from, of course, the lavender. It's coming from the iris. Again, these are scent notes that I believe are part of this, but they're definitely things that I'm picking up on. The iris, the lavender, definitely there. But you get a rounded out smoothness with the sandalwood. And you also get some hints of vanilla. So you guys can see the atomizer is nice. I think you could see that on camera. I was like, oh God. But it's a really nice fresh scent. I find that this is perfect office wear. This is great for date nights. Usually I spray once behind the ear, across the chest, and then usually on the arms. I'll just go ahead and not do the arms right now since I technically already did that. Don't want to waste all my juice. But again, thanks Frank for releasing this. I think your EDTs are a fantastic idea. I like the packaging. It's very niche perfume-like. And honestly, guys, in the performance, the sillage on this is incredible. So sillage, for those of you guys that are unfamiliar with fragrance terminology, that's essentially projection, that scent bubble you create. And the sillage on this is incredible. It's very present. It's definitely there. This does not fade into a skin scent very quickly. I applied this several hours ago, and it's going strong still. I didn't even have to apply on more right then and there, but I wanted to just showcase it in use on the channel. Very, very impressed by what Frank has been doing. Every product that I pick up, whether that's my HFO knot, whether that's his soaps, aftershaves, or now the EDTs, I'm definitely going to be picking up the full-size soap and aftershave for Teddy. I do have a small sample of Teddy, I believe. I'm going to have to look into Old Hickory as well. I've heard some really good things about that one. His new Commander-in-Chief formula that I've utilized is very good. I want to use that again here in a little bit to get an additional idea about that CIC formula, because before I was used to using the vegan base, which I really like. But very impressed with this shave, very impressed with that EDT. I mean, this sucker has got some strength. For an EDT, this smells more like an EDP concentration to me. It's a little bit more intense, but I like that because that's going to correlate into longevity for me. It's got great sillage. It's got some very nice scent notes in here that you're going to definitely pick up on. So the lavender, front and center, star of the show, one of the best lavenders I've ever tried. And you guys know I'm on this huge lavender kick. And the thing that I like with this lavender is it takes some chances, man. A lot of the times lavender is a back note on actual scent releases as far as fragrance releases for EDPs, EDTs. But lavender is front and center here, but it's definitely complemented by other big players. Sandalwood, which is giving this vanilla-y, woody vibe. The iris, which is adding to that floral note, but also giving you this very fresh fragrance note, which is why I think it would lend really well to being an office-type fragrance or a date-night fragrance. I know Tiff's a big fan of lavender. She and I both agree on that. We love lavender. So it's nice that I have a full set of lavender that I can use. Previously, I was pairing these typically with Dracar Noir, which is an aromatic fougere type fragrance, but it's definitely got lavender in there. Really pleased, very impressed. Again, if you don't want to use Teddy, you want to look into other lavender or other floral type fragrances that are very fresh that would go with these. Prada L'Homme is another really good one, but that's going to run you a lot more money than Teddy would, and the performance of this thing is stellar. Maybe even better, in my opinion, than Prada L'Homme. So thank you guys again for watching on The Shaving Tolson. As always, please comment, like, and subscribe. That means the world to me, especially on the Shaving Tolson Instagram page. The more followers I get there, the more I'm inclined to post more content. It just helps me get noticed by some of these artisans, so I do receive product for review, or so I can experience more of these, because again, a lot of this stuff I pay out of pocket for, and it's nice to be able to get to participate in these things and to showcase them on the page. So thank you guys again. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys next time on The Shaving Tolson.